Moving on, India's deep tech startups need higher seed and early stage funding to grow faster, as only 11% of technology-related funds have reached this ecosystem as of now, says NASSCOM. Bharat Innovation Fund is one of the handful of deep tech-focused venture capital funds. And here's a slice of the conversation on Opportunities Dry Powder and the new fund with co-founder and partner Ashwin Raguraman. I want to begin by asking you that what do you think of ChatGPT? Have you tried it yet? And before he answers this question, I want to tell my viewers why I'm asking him this question. That's because Bharat Innovation Fund primarily invests in AI-driven startups. So what do you think of it?
No, it's going to disrupt the world for sure. How much is it going to disrupt the world and when is it going to disrupt the world? I think the jury is still out. It's created a lot of buzz, but for us, when we look at technologies like this, we understand there's a time to maturation and there's a time to adoption. And while people are going gaga over it, I think to become truly commercial and a product that is adopted across various use cases is going to take some amount of training of the algorithms and therefore usage to train. And just to tell you this, we actually invested in a natural language generation company a few years back, so we think we're going to get disrupted by ChatGPT.
Now, Ashwin, the first investment that you made was in 2018, right? And a lot has changed in the past 5 years. Now, with the coming of generative AI, how do you see it impacting the AI startups in India in the next 5 years?
So I think what's going to happen with a lot of the AI startups, everybody is working in a different space. Everybody is working with a different use case. And there's so much to go in the AI world in terms of the use case. I mean, we've just scratched the surface. So if you think of generative AI, I think it's going to become a little bit more like digital, which is there are many startups in the AI world which will leverage GAN, which will use that within their solutions. And so it will become a part or embedded into enhancing other solutions and other use cases that some of our startups are already working on.
All right. Now you've made close to 18 investments in deep tech and breakthrough innovations across India. So could you give us a sense of your portfolio companies and also tell us what is your investment philosophy behind, backing them?
Yeah. So we realized that there's not, let me answer the second question first. We realized there's not too many players backing deep tech startups out of India. And we moved as a startup ecosystem from consumer-focused startups to SaaS. But you now want differentiated SaaS, right? You want guys who are different, who have a product-first approach, who have technology as a moat. But there wasn't enough capital to go out there and get to these startups, invest in them, support them, and take them ahead. And so we realized, given this white space, it does take, or it makes sense to have a dedicated fund that will invest in these startups. And what we've realized is once you've invested in these startups, if they go past the valley of death and their product market fit gets established, mainstream funds, which are, a little bit the later stage generalist funds, then find them very attractive.
Now, I want to understand, are you planning to invest in some startups in 2023? What are some of the technologies your eyes? And, and in which sectors? Which sectors are you looking at?
So we are looking, we're a sector agnostic fund, so we look across sectors. I think there's going to be, and there is a lot of innovation propensity is the healthcare sector. But deep tech solutions are still emerging, and so we're keeping a very strong eye on that sector as a whole. Enterprise solutions, so two technology areas which could address any sector, which we are across many sectors, from digital lending to media tech and so on. We're looking at the next few. The other area where I and material, again, addressing very different use cases. Okay. It could be something in fashion. Be something a lot more serious, and we've invested in one company called Nayam, which uses your eye and enabling something which people couldn't do before, which is something called a custom.
The journey has become a bit more tougher. So what is the capital pursuit keeping them warm?
Yeah, I think we keep them warm, winter or not, with motivated entrepreneurs anyway, right? But I think last month, one of our companies, which we invested in the pre-Series A round, called Entropies went on to raise a Series B round from a couple round last month in the midst of the funding winter. And the reason to spend significant amounts in customer acquisition and this on a high cash burn model, the deep tech nature of our startups means that we can be a little bit more frugal. Also turn on and turn off the tap to assist harder. It's easier to sort of throttle and not spend as much and then open out and when the environment gets better.
And moving on to the latest on Twitter and the blue